Wait, that's happened? United States dropped an atomic bomb on South Carolina? History is filled with unbelievable true stories, but few are as shocking or as strangely underreported as the day the United States accidentally dropped an atomic bomb on South Carolina. Yes, you read that right. In 1958, during the height of the Cold War, a quiet community near the town of Mars Bluff found itself at the center of a surreal and terrifying accident. What began as an ordinary training flight turned into an episode that sounds more like the plot of a dark comedy than a true historical event. It was March 11, 1958. A U.S. Air Force B-47 bomber took off from Hunter Air Force Base in Savannah, Georgia. The plane was on a routine training mission, carrying one of the most powerful weapons humanity had ever created, a Mark VI nuclear bomb. At the time, it was not unusual for bombers to fly with live nuclear weapons. This practice, known as airborne alert, was meant to ensure that America could respond instantly if the Soviet Union launched a surprise attack. To modern ears, the idea sounds reckless. To military planners of the era, it was simply strategy. On board the aircraft, the crew went through standard procedures, but then something went terribly wrong. A safety pin, designed to prevent accidental release of the bomb, was somehow dislodged. The bomb bay doors opened, and before the crew could stop it, the Mark VI slipped free. At 15,000 feet above South Carolina, a nuclear bomb tumbled toward the Earth. Now, before panic sets in, it's important to note, the bomb's nuclear core had been removed. For safety reasons, the plutonium pit was never loaded unless the weapon was on combat alert. Still, the conventional explosives inside the bomb, designed to compress the nuclear core in an actual detonation, were very much active. When the Mark VI struck the ground outside Mars Bluff, those explosives went off. The result was catastrophic, even without a nuclear chain reaction. The blast left a crater nearly 70 feet wide and 35 feet deep. Trees were flattened, houses were damaged, and debris rained down across the countryside. And right at the edge of the explosion sat the Gregg family home. Walter Gregg, his wife Effie, and their children were inside when the bomb fell from the sky. Miraculously, they survived, but the explosion destroyed their house, tore apart their belongings, and left them dazed in a landscape that looked like a war zone. The community rushed to the scene, stunned by what they found. Reporters quickly descended on Mars Bluff, and the incident made national headlines. Photographs of the gaping crater, an eerie wound in the red Carolina soil, were published across the country. For many Americans, it was a chilling reminder that nuclear weapons weren't just a distant threat reserved for superpower standoffs. They could, quite literally, fall from the sky in their own backyard. The U.S. Air Force swiftly acknowledged the accident, calling it a regrettable incident. The Greggs received compensation, but no amount of money could erase the memory of that day. Imagine standing in your yard only to see a bomb powerful enough to obliterate a city dropping from above. Even without its core, the weapon demonstrated just how fragile the line between routine military operations and catastrophe could be. The Mars Bluff incident became part of a larger category of mishaps the military refers to as broken arrows, accidents involving nuclear weapons that don't result in war. Over the decades, there have been dozens of such events, ranging from bombs lost at sea to accidental crashes. But the South Carolina accident remains one of the most dramatic examples of how close disaster can come, even in peacetime. Today, the crater still exists, hidden behind trees and brush, a strange monument to one of the Cold War's strangest episodes. Visitors who make the trek out to see it often find themselves staring at the scar in the earth, wondering how different history might have been if that bomb had been fully armed. The Cold War is often remembered in terms of high-stakes diplomacy, nuclear brinkmanship, and grand speeches. But in Mars Bluff, South Carolina, it was remembered as the day when the unimaginable became real. The day an American family, going about their lives, became the unwilling neighbors of an atomic bomb. And in that moment, the abstract terror of the nuclear age became personal, written not in geopolitics, but in dirt, splinters, and smoke. If you enjoyed this strange piece of history, give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more.